Most people think time is a constant. Seconds lead into minutes. Minutes lead into hours. The sun rises, and the sun sets. But in the deep backcountry of the Ozarks, time isn't a line. It's a circle. And sometimes, that circle breaks. My name is Owen. I've been a search and rescue lead for 15 years. I've seen everything the forest can throw at a human being. Dehydration. Hypothermia. Animal attacks. I thought I understood the rules of the woods. But there is a specific valley in the northern quadrant, Sector 4 Bravo. The locals call it the Blackout Zone. The birds don't fly over it. The deer won't graze in it. And if you go in, you might come out before you even enter. Last September, we got a call about a solo hiker named Claire. She was experienced. She had a satellite beacon. She had enough food for a week. She went missing at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. I led the primary search team. We hit the trailhead by noon. As soon as we crossed the ridgeline into Sector 4 Bravo, the first anomaly started. I looked down at my wrist. The digital display on my tactical watch was flickering. Not blinking. Flickering. Like a dying candle. Then, the numbers started to count backward. 9:59. 9:58. 9:57. I stopped the team. Check your gear, I ordered. Every single one of them had the same issue. Analog watches were spinning clockwise at triple speed. Digital ones were reversing. GPS units showed us standing in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Magnetics, my rookie, Pete, asked. No, I said. Magnetics mess with your compass. This is messing with the now. We kept moving. We had to. A life was on the line. The forest in Sector 4 Bravo felt heavy. Like the air was made of wet wool. Every step felt like I was pushing through a physical barrier. At 3 p.m., or what I thought was 3 p.m., we found her. Claire was sitting on a log by a stream. She was eating a granola bar. She looked perfectly fine. Not a scratch on her. She wasn't even shivering, despite the temperature drop. Claire. I called out. She looked up and smiled. Hey. That was fast. I only sent the signal 10 minutes ago. I looked at Pete. Then back at Claire. Claire, you sent that signal 4 hours ago. It's late afternoon. She laughed. A genuine, light-hearted laugh. Owen, look at the sun, she said, pointing up. I looked up through the canopy. The sun was directly overhead. High noon. But we had been hiking for 5 hours. I could feel the fatigue in my calves. I could see the long shadows we had cast just minutes ago. But now, there were no shadows. We need to move, I said, my voice tight. Right now. We grabbed her gear and started back the way we came. But the trail was different. Trees that were on our left were now on our right. The stream was flowing uphill. And then I saw it. A few yards off the trail, there was a campsite. Old. Weathered. The tent was shredded by years of wind and rain. I felt a pull in my gut. A sense of dread so strong I almost vomited. Stay here, I told the team. I walked to the campsite. I pulled back the rotted flap of the tent. Inside, there was a skeleton. Still wearing a hiking jacket. A bright blue jacket. Exactly like the one Claire was wearing right behind me. I looked at the skeletal hand. It was clutching a notebook. I opened the first page. The handwriting was fresh. The ink hadn't even faded. September 12, 2026. The SAR team found me today. Owen was leading them. He looked older than I remembered. I dropped the book. Today was September 12th. But the skeleton in that tent had been there for at least 20 years. I ran back to the team. Claire was talking to Pete. But Pete wasn't answering. He was staring at her with wide, terrified eyes. "Owen," Pete whispered. "Look at her hair." I looked. As I watched, Claire's hair, which had been blonde a second ago, was turning gray. Right before my eyes. The skin on her hands was wrinkling. Her posture was slouching. She was aging a year for every second we stood still. "It's catching up," Claire said. Her voice was no longer young. It was thin. Brittle. "The time I stole, it's taking it back. Run!" I screamed. We didn't follow the trail. We just ran toward the ridgeline. I was carrying Claire now. She felt light. Like she was made of dried leaves. Behind us, I could hear a sound. Not an animal. Not a wind. It was the sound of a clock ticking. Thousands of them. All out of sync. A deafening, metallic roar of seconds passing. We hit the ridgeline and collapsed onto the dirt on the other side. The air instantly changed. The weight lifted. I looked at my watch. It was 12:15 p.m. 15 minutes since we started the search. But my body felt like I had run a marathon. My beard had grown a quarter inch. Pete's face was covered in a week's worth of stubble. I looked down at Claire. She was gone. Not ran away, gone. There was just a pile of dust in the shape of a woman inside her blue jacket. And an old, rusted satellite beacon sitting on top of the pile. We filed the report as a cold case discovery. We told the authorities we found the remains of a hiker who went missing in the 90s. Because how do you explain that we found her while she was still alive? How do you explain that Sector 4 Bravo is a leak in the universe? I don't go into the woods anymore without 3 different watches. And I never, ever enter a valley where the birds don't fly. Because time doesn't heal all wounds. Sometimes, it just waits for you to walk into the wrong room. If you've ever looked at your phone and realized you lost 3 hours of your life with no explanation, think back to where you were standing. Was it near a ridgeline? Was the air a little too quiet? Tell me about your lost time stories in the comments. I'm trying to map the leaks. Subscribe to the Midnight Files.